So welcome back, guys. Today is day 3 of Work for Energy. And as I remember, in the last class, I discussed the idea about like. Let me just summarize all the things that we have discussed until now. Even though it looked like we discussed a lot of things, the whole summary is coming back to the work done by a force and change in kinetic energy. You're doing some work to the body, it gains some kinetic energy. You're doing some negative work on the body, it loses kinetic energy. Just try to think of it as some money kind of a thing. Like you're giving it something, it has something. You're taking away something, it loses it. Okay, it's a very simple thing. And in fact, I discussed an idea taking a spring block system. The spring's doing some positive work. Let us say the block already has some kinetic energy. Like spring is not at natural length, the block already has some kinetic energy. So it goes, loses the kinetic energy because of this negative work, and it gives it back. So kinetic energy, zero kinetic energy, again kinetic energy, zero kinetic energy, again kinetic energy. That's what I've discussed. I've discussed this whole part here, right? I in fact have an animation, but all the animations, I'll just try to show this animation. This won't make complete sense to you right now. Again, the physics, ophysics.com website. But this is a vertical block system. It includes more, what do you say? It includes more energies here, but I'm just showing it. It won't make a complete sense to you. You see how when the spring block system is moving up and down, you see some bars going up and down. They're basically the kinetic energy is varying. Okay, you don't understand all the bars yet, but I'm just saying, like, as the spring block system is oscillating, the kinetic energy is increasing, coming to zero, increasing, coming to zero, increasing and coming to zero. That is the kind of feeling that I'm asking you to feel. Like spring is doing some positive work, some negative work, positive work and negative work. So that is the summary that you need to understand. We will get back to this vertical spring block problem. It makes a lot more sense later, maybe from tomorrow's class. Okay, from until today's class, it's just more theory. I'm just repeating the same idea. We have a simple spring block problem. We have seen how the kinetic energy is decreased and then increased, decreased and then increased. In fact, we've talked about the work done by the spring. It can be half kx square. It can be minus half kx square. It can be half kx square. It can do some positive work. It can do some negative work. And we've already seen when it does a positive work and when it does a negative work. So we've just talked about that spring force. There are a lot more other forces, and we can definitely write works done by all these forces. Can somebody tell me any other force? Is there any other force which is varying with displacement in your standards? I don't think so. I don't think you don't have any other forces. But in future, you will we will face these problems. Gravitational force, electrostatic force. We will talk about electrostatic force. We will talk about all these forces and how they affect the system. We will talk about them. But let us just close that bit. Okay, we only learned about work done, can change in kinetic energy. We only also learned about work done by a spring system, work done by a spring. That's all. Okay, that is a summary. Now let me start. There is a thing called conservative force and non-conservative force. Yeah, again, sounds like a big word. Very simple idea. Let us take yesterday's example. Me and Aniket are fighting. Okay, Aniket has 100 rupees. I took it from him. So I did some negative work, took the 100 rupees, and I gave it back to him, 100 rupees. So what's happening? So simple idea that this is me and this block is Aniket. Let's just say I'm taking it from him. I'm giving it back. So 100 rupees I'm taking, and 100 rupees I'm giving it back. So when I'm taking, I'm just doing some negative work. So he's losing the money. And I'm giving it back. I'm doing some positive work on him. So he's gaining the money. Now, that is a conservative force. A conservative force is something, I mean, there is a very big idea behind conservative forces and non-conservative forces. I'm introducing you to a very simplest form of the idea. Okay, the very simplest form of an idea. So when you have a non-conservative force, let us take who as an example. This time, Raghav. Raghav has 200 rupees. I took 200 rupees. I took 200 rupees. Now I burnt it. Why? Because I'm a sadist. I burnt it. I took 200 rupees from him and I burnt it. Now, can I give it back to him? No, the 200 rupees is gone. So that is something that is as a non-conservative force. The best example to a conservative force and a non-conservative force, I'm going to introduce you right here. When a block has a velocity and it's a spring, block has 10 meter per second. So in this situation, when it's at the maximum compression, like block loses its velocity completely. What happened? Block had some kinetic energy. Block had some kinetic energy. All the kinetic energy is completely lost because the spring has done some negative work. But the spring is a good boy, so he will do the positive work back again. He will do some positive work and give the kinetic energy, so he will get back the 10 meter per second. So because the spring is a conservative force. Now how to decide whether a force is a conservative force and non-conservative force is a very big topic, like I mentioned. So I'm not talking about that big idea right now. I'm just I'm just trying to teach you a simple idea how to tell whether is a force is a big conservative or non-conservative. So it's clear that the block is taking the kinetic energy, but it is giving back. Now let us take an example on this side. A block has some kinetic energy, such a beautiful energy that we have. It has 10 meter per second, but it is sliding on a ground, on a rough ground. Now, by the time the blocks slided here, it came to zero. The velocity came to zero. Now, all the kinetic energy is completely gone. The kinetic energy is zero now. Now, is there anyone that is going to give the kinetic energy back? No, because all energy was wasted here. The friction has done some work here. The friction has done some negative work here and burnt all the energy. Now, the energy is not gone. Like guys, stay clear here. According to the idea of a law of energy, energy cannot be created, energy cannot be destroyed. Here, the energy is not destroyed. It is just the kinetic energy is converted into heat. So whenever you have a non-conservative force, it is just that this heat demon, let's just call it a heat demon. This shows up, it takes up all the heat and it cannot give it back. So clearly this is a non-conservative force. What are we talking about here? Which force are we talking about here? We're talking about friction. Let us talk about it much further. If you, Aniket, talk.
Sir, why just heat? It is even moving the ground by some bit, right, sir?
Let us just imagine it's not moving the ground. That's a good question. That's a very good question. I will give you another problem on that. Okay, right away, just remind me right after this discussion, I'll give another problem on that. That is a very good doubt, Aniket. Okay, guys, like keep bringing on these ideas. Like in this topic, we better discuss as many problems as we can. Okay, if we discuss all these problems and we pile up all the knowledge, at the end of this thing, you can solve the what is that question, that treadmill question. The treadmill question can be solved after all this knowledge is gained, not that simply. Okay, so this force is right here is clearly a non-conservative force. Let us write it. The friction is mu mg. Okay, and as the block is moving in this direction, the block started here, it is moving in this direction, the displacement is in this direction, and the friction is clearly in the opposite direction, mu mg. So I can happily write the work done by the friction equals to mu mg into the displacement s, and of course there is a minus. Why is there a minus? Why is there a minus? Displacement and the friction are in the opposite direction, so the work done by the friction equals to change in kinetic energy. Definitely all the kinetic energy is lost because of the work done by the friction. Aniket, you have a doubt again. Aniket, whatever. So again, work done by friction is clearly nothing but the change in kinetic energy. It is still the same, even though whether it is a non-conservative force, even though it is a conservative force, Work done by all the forces is always change in kinetic energy. That is valid everywhere. That is definitely valid everywhere. Work done by the net forces is valid everywhere. But we are checking whether it is a conservative force or non-conservative force, so that whether the system again gains the kinetic energy. In this case, it clearly gained the kinetic energy. See, but in this case, it didn't. It never comes back to the original position. Okay, so that is how you simply talk about the non-conservative forces. Once it takes it from you, it is simply burnt. It cannot give it back to you. It cannot give you the energy back to you. Now, let us discuss. Since Aniket asked, I'm bringing up this problem. Otherwise, I wouldn't have discussed this problem. I'm only discussing all the things on the right side. Let us take a block, a big block, and a small block. Okay, only the small block has some velocity. The big and I'm discussing all the things. Here mu is 0, so the ground is smooth. Let's not discuss that. But here there is some friction. So here there is some mu in between the block and this thing. What happens? We've done this kind of problems like after some point this moves, the lower block also moves. So V1, V2. V1, V2. Now what exactly happened? In the initial situation, the kinetic energy is V0. Now the each blocks, let us call them as M1, M2. So M1, M2. Aniket, you need to raise your hand. You need to speak here. Aniket, do you see any sliding, frictional sliding there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, there is some
The
friction.
lower block.
There is some friction in between them, and this friction definitely did some work because there is some sliding in between them. So there is some energy definitely lost. But in this problem, it is difficult to write the work done by friction because you can definitely write mu mg. But what is the displacement? What is the displacement? How much is the displacement? It is because both the blocks moved, the relative displacement is difficult to write. But work done by friction is nothing but change in kinetic energy, right? We simply write the final kinetic energy. We simply write the initial kinetic energy. What is the final kinetic energy? Half m1 v1 square plus half m2 v2 square. This is the final kinetic energy that we have here in the final condition. Initially only this has the kinetic energy. So initial it is nothing but half m1 v0 square. So even though we don't have the entire information, we were able to find the work done by the friction. Do you see that? Aniket, do you understand?
Yes, sir. So that energy lost in heat, sir?
What?
That energy in middle will be lost in heat also, right,
Exactly.
sir, as you said?
This will be heat. So the non-conservative forces problems, like I'm mentioning, like this topic is a very small topic when you consider it as a simple thing like money, like taking it back and giving it back. It's a very simple topic. This topic is very small. But when you apply it to problem by problem and problem by problem and problem with it, it gets really big. Okay, it gets a really big, like you can bring hundreds and hundreds of problems into this. So I hope first of all you understand the idea of conservative forces and non-conservative forces. Okay, that is the first thing. Aniket, do you understand first of all the idea of conservative
Yes,
and
sir.
non-conservative? Yes.
So one small doubt.
Yeah, tell me.
Sir, where did we account for that heat energy there? We only saw for the blocks moving, sir. The heat energy we didn't take only there.
Oh no, the work done by friction is nothing but heat. This is nothing but heat energy. I didn't just mention it. I don't want to like bring more energies here. That's why I didn't mention. But the work done by the friction is nothing but heat here. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So this is just an introduction. I didn't actually tell you anything here, guys. Okay, I just introduced you the idea of conservative force and non-conservative forces. Now, to define these conservative forces and non-conservative forces, everyone wants a definition, right? So they define these conservative and non-conservative forces. They made a definition, but I'm not completely happy with it. They simply say a block starts or a body starts somewhere and there is some force acting on it. When it's taken a full round trip, it is going somewhere and starts and coming back to the original position. It's gone somewhere and coming back to the original position. If the work net during this entire process is 0, then it is a conservative force. In this entire process of like the whole process, if it is not 0, the work net is not 0, then it is a non-conservative force. I will try to explain. Like you have a spring block system. Block started here, it went up to this point and came back. We clearly have seen this. There is some negative work here, there is some positive work here. So the net work done is how much? 0 here. The net work done is clearly 0. But if only I took a block on a rough surface, I dragged it up to this point, like some external force, because of some external force. But we don't talk about this external force. Let's talk about friction. When it is dragged from here to here, there is some friction work done by the friction. And let us make the block move back to its original position by some external agent only. But it has, the friction has done a negative work again. So even though the block came back to its original position, the friction has done a negative work and the negative work again. The spring has done some negative work here and then some positive work here. So the net work done is 0, but here it is not. So here you can simply say the work done. So a spring force is a conservative force, and this force, what do you say? The friction force is a non-conservative force. Now I'm going to ask some questions, so I need some hands raised. Wow, that is so many. Okay, that's so many. Let us stick to some new people today. Chetan, I'm going to talk to Chetan. Chetan, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Chetan, you see this example. You have a block. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And there is ground. This block is vertically projected.
Yes, sir.
Now it has gone to the topmost point and it's come back.
Yes, sir.
Now talk about work done by gravitational force. The gravitational force, is it a conservative force or not?
Yes, sir. It's a
Don't know?
conservative force.
Anyone else? Sumant Raj.
Yes, sir. It's a gravitational force is a conservative force.
How can you tell?
Work done is 0, sir. So
How can you
because when the body is moving up, gravitational force does negative work.
Beautiful. Okay, so
Tries
when
to
it is
pull down.
moving up, it is doing some negative work because the displacement and the gravitation are in the opposite direction. Next.
Yes, sir. While it is coming down, it tries to pull it with more effective, more
Beautiful. So when it
effectively.
is coming down, it is doing some positive work.
Positive
So
work
overall,
there.
the work net is
It is 0, sir.
will be 0. Excellent.
Yes,
Excellent.
sir. So it's a conservative force.
Right. Good. Let us talk to someone else now. Venugopal.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, let us take the same situation only. Let us take the same situation. I projected the body with a velocity v0.
Okay,
It
sir.
went up and came back. But when it came back, it did not come with v0. Let us take some values only. I projected up with 10 meter per second. It came
Yes.
back with only 9 meter per second. Now,
Yes.
my question here is, we just decided that the gravitation is a conservative force. The total
yes,
work
sir.
done is net work done is 0. So there shouldn't be any change in kinetic energy. But why did it come back with a lesser velocity? Is there any answer that you can tell?
Yeah, the gravity depends upon weight, no, sir.
No.
I mean, mass into acceleration.
Karthik has an answer. Seems Karthik, speak up. What are the times when you have these different velocities? Karthik, nothing. Aditya.
Yes.
Yeah, tell me.
So the displacement might be different, sir.
Now, if it is a normal case, if it is projected with 10, it must come back with 10. But if it didn't come back with 10, there must be something else. There's something that could have gone wrong. Gopika has some answer here. Gopika.
Or air resistance.
Air resistance is there, sir.
Exactly. So when it went up, it did some negative work, like gravity definitely did some negative work. We're not talking about gravity anymore. Here it did some negative work, air friction, and here also it did some negative work in both the paths. So the gravity, the work done by the gravity, work net, let us talk about work net. So work net by gravity plus work net by friction, air resistance. Air resistance, you call it as viscosity also. Okay, people call it as viscosity, air resistance and anything. This is clearly zero. This part is zero. Work net by gravity. When it is going up, it is negative. When it is coming down, it is positive. So there was some negative value. There was some positive value. So overall net is zero. But here it was negative and it was negative. So that is why the poor little block that only has 10 meter per second, it lost 1 meter per second because of this selfish whatever it is, like such a negative thing. It took all the energy from the block. Already has a little amount, but it took it away. Okay, so now you have a very good amount of idea about conservative force and non-conservative force. Once you people are clear about I mean, it is not the entire idea. Again, some problems. Let me ask another problem. Electrostatic force. Wait a second, guys. You talk about this force G m1 m2 by r square. You're all introduced to this force. What is this force?
Gravitational force between two masses.
Yeah, gravitation force between these two masses. Is it a conservative force? Oh, silence again. You might have heard this also. K q1 q2 by r square. Is it a conservative force?
It's between charges, sir.
Okay. People raise their hands. Let's speak that to them. Gopika, tell me.
No, sir. It's
How
not
can you say?
conservative.
How can you say?
Sir, because the distance between them is not constant all the time.
So if the distance is not constant, that doesn't say anything about work done being zero or non-zero.
So work done is displacement into
No. Don't
force.
confuse
No,
yourself.
sir.
Don't confuse yourself. These two are also conservative forces only. I will tell you how. A small introduction, but not entirely. Let us take two masses. Okay. Let us stick this mass. Let us fix this mass. We move this mass closer and we take it away. Okay. But the gravitational force of gravitation, F is nothing but G m1 m2 by r square. It is always towards only. But the displacement here, displacement is the same direction, displacement is in the opposite direction. So there will be some positive work and there will be some negative work. So the work done will be zero only. Okay, even though the work done, to calculate Neeti and Preeti, sir, can you please explain the non-conservative force again? Non-conservative force is not completely discussed, Neeti and Preeti. I didn't discuss the idea. It's just an indication that you need to understand non-conservative forces simply burns. It's like friction or air resistance. It takes from you and it's not ready to give it back to you. A spring force, take a look at spring force. You hit a spring, it comes back. The energy comes back to you. But take a frictional surface. You give some energy to it, it won't give it back to you. It will just dissipate into heat. That is a basic idea about non-conservative force. That's all. Like just by looking at these formulas, you cannot tell whether it's a conservative force or not. That's what I wanted to tell. These forces are actually conservative only. But it is not easy to tell just by looking at the equation whether the force is conservative or not. Now, can somebody write down or make a tattoo on your body that how to do this? Remind me about this thing in the next week at the end of this topic. How to tell whether a force, just by looking, there is an equation for force. Like this is for spring force, F equal to minus kx. How did I tell that this is a conservative force? Or how am I telling this is a conservative force? Like just by looking at the equation. Okay. So Aditya, tell me.
So you're saying because they haven't constant?
What?
They haven't constant, that's why you're saying that it is having a conservative force.
What is constant?
Like in a spring force, we have a spring constant. In a
No,
We
no,
have
no,
G
no,
and
no,
K.
no. Yeah, that's a good observation, but it's not about the spring constant or gravitational constant or anything like that. Just by looking at the force, it is not easy to tell whether for the force is a conservative force or not. Aniket has a statement saying, "Sir, can we calculate the amount of energy lost due to the resistance in heat and non-conservative forces?" Of course, all the work done by the negative forces, every time you like did I found we found the work done by the friction here. That is nothing but the heat. That is nothing but the heat. Work done by friction is always nothing but the heat. It is simply like you have some kinetic energy. In this case, let us take this problem only. Why not? Wait a second. Yeah, this problem only. The block used to have half 10 m square, half m 10 square. Now it only has half m 9 square. Where did the kinetic energy go? That is nothing but heat only. That's all. That is nothing but the work done by the non-conservative force, which is nothing but the heat, Aniket. That's it. It is energy. Like that's why I'm telling you people, it is that simple. Like you don't have to learn about all these things. Look at the energy that is simply lost. That is nothing but the heat. Like there's supposed to be some energy. Where did the energy go? It shouldn't just disappear. That is the important point, guys. Just look at the energy. Like you always question. Aniket used to have 100 rupees. You question where the 100 rupees is. I've took it from him. So he says that 100 rupees is with me. And I give it back to him. So he says the 100 rupees is back with him. So there is always that word that 100 rupees is some with someone. And considering Raghav, where is that example? Considering Raghav, he used to have 200 rupees. I took 200 rupees from him. So he says, I took it. So people ask me, where is the 200 rupees? I say it is converted into heat. I burnt it. So there is always accounting. There is always accounting. So just keep in mind that the energy can never be lost. Like if it is in the form of kinetic energy, it's there. Otherwise, it should be because of some other negative work or some non-conservative force. There should be something, some reason if the energy is lost. There's always some reason. You need to question that. Okay. I was supposed to discuss something. Yeah, this thing. So just by looking at a equation, how can you tell whether a force is conservative or not? Please remind me about this thing. This is a very big idea. Like you need it for advanced level problem discussions, not right now. So just remind me about it. Make a tattoo on your body if it is possible. And we'll come back to that discussion. Now that we've known what is a conservative and what's a non-conservative force, I'm going to talk about a new idea completely here, which is called as until this point, do you ever see me taking more than one block? Like we've only talked about work done on one block, work done on only one block. That is our body, that is our system. Right now, I'm talking about multiple bodies, M1, M2, M3, and this whole thing is our system. So we are talking about system of particles now. The word system is very important here, guys. The word system is very important here because now system shouldn't have to be this or it shouldn't have any fixed meaning. Let us take a whole bunch of spring blocks and connections and anything. Let us have a situation like this. What is a system here? Anything can be a system. I can definitely say this entire thing is a system. I can simply say only these blocks are my system. When I say only these blocks are my system, clearly guys, these forces become external forces because they are coming from outside my system. Only the blue side is my system now. I can consider anything as a system. Okay. Now it doesn't change any problem. Like just like we used to solve the problems in the frame of reference, out of the frame of reference, it didn't make any difference, right? So just like that, taking any bodies as your system is totally fine. Like take 5 blocks as 5 separate systems. You can definitely do that. But I'm trying to teach you what is a system here. So that blue circled part is my system. So these forces are external forces. And these forces are internal forces, like the forces coming from these springs, they are internal forces, coming from inside and the forces coming from outside. Let me take an example. A raise of hands, please. You have to tell me which force is internal and which force is external. Come on, people. Where did the hands go? Oh, they're there. I'm unmuting Gopika. And who is this person? Karthik also. And Aniket, I guess. No, Aditya. Can you people speak, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So look at this system. I'm taking block, block, block. Okay. I'm considering only this as system. Okay, guys.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now Aditya's chance right now. Aditya, I'm going to show some forces. You have to tell me whether it is an internal force or an external force. Are you ready?
Okay. Yes, sir.
The normal force in between them.
It is internal, sir.
Good. The normal force here.
It is really external, sir.
Very good. Because it is coming from this block, the normal force coming from this block, it is clearly external. The normal force here is obviously external. It's not even on our system. Right?
Yes, sir. We are
Uh,
not counting it.
what?
We are not counting the below block.
You don't have to count the below block. Sharath and Vamshi. Sharath, Vamshi. Vamshi.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Let Vamshi speak. Is this friction internal or external?
Internal, sir.
This friction?
External.
Good. Sharath.
Yes, sir.
Mg, M1G, M2G, M3G. Out of all these forces, which is internal and which is external?
M1G and M2G are internal, M3G is external.
You are wrong. Because this force is coming from planet Earth. This mg is not, even though it is acting on this body, it is coming from this external Earth.
So all three are external.
M1G, M2G, M3G, all the forces are external. It is coming from the Earth. You see the beauty here?
So we don't consider gravity as a system.
No,
Like we don't consider gravity in this system.
Right, take this system. Take this and take a block and planet Earth.
Yes.
If only I consider only block as a system, the normal force is an external force. Mg is also an external force because mg is coming from Earth. For me, only block is a system.
So
But
all
if
the forces
only-
acting on
if-
it will
if
be
only, watch. If only I consider both the block and Earth as a system, like this is my entire system. This mg and this block will apply some force on Earth also. So these two forces are now internal. So if you have to consider mg as an internal force, if you have to consider,
We'll have to consider
internal
Earth.
force, you have to consider Earth as a system also.
Yes. Sir, in the previous example, all the forces which will act on the block will be external forces, right?
I don't get you.
Sir, in the previous example, sir, wherein which only a single block was the system.
Which one? This one?
Yes, sir.
What are you talking about?
Sir, all the forces acting on that block will be external forces, right?
Exactly. All the forces acting on the block are external here only because that's the block is only the system that we're taking. Even in every problem that we considered previously, in every problem, a block is an external block only. A block is a system and all the forces are external only. So let us take a spring block system. Look at this situation. I can do one thing, take block as separate system, so this spring force will be external. Or I can do one thing, I can do what? I can consider both of them as a single system. So what happens? This force is an internal force.
Spring force will be internal.
Spring force will be an internal force. Okay, some people have some doubts here. So even outside is external. What the system puts What, Aniket, I didn't get you. Like, if you can unmute yourself, it'd be good. Mazida says conservative force only depends only position but not distance. Mazida, your statement is not completely clear. Can you unmute yourself and speak? Mazida. Mazida B. Sayyada. She's not responding. Anyway, so guys, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, some phone call came in, so the internet connection has lost. So I was saying, what was I saying? Yeah, Mazida, if you are here, unmute yourself. You can clear your doubt. Mazida, still no. Okay, yeah. Mazida, what is it?
Is there conservative of those forces depends only on positions, but not the distance between.
No, the discussion about conservative forces and non-conservative forces is not over. It was just only introduced to you. Okay, there are hundreds and hundreds of ways to what do you say, explain this thing. Now forces, conservative forces can depend on position. Like here it is depending on forces, the distances also, right? The conservative force, even though they're conservative, okay, like they're depending on the distance in between them. But so don't draw any line right now about conservative forces. Just try to understand a conservative forces as something that takes and gives it back. A non-conservative force is something that takes and burns it. That's all. That's all you need to understand. Why are so many hands raised?
Excuse me, sir.
Let me. Yeah, who's this?
Aniket, sir.
Yeah, Aniket, tell me.
Sir, if our system puts some force on some other block or anything,
Okay.
that will be internal or external?
If a system puts a force
On some other thing, sir.
like, give me an example. Like, tell me how to draw.
So, like we are considering, yes, sir.
Like, yeah. Would you
If we are
like to-
considering two blocks as the system, sir, maybe they are putting a force on the third one.
Yeah, so these two are a system, okay, for me now. And this force is an external force. Okay.
Yes, sir. If the system itself is putting,
Yeah, that's like, obviously, if this is a system, there is this force and there is this force. So the system is putting force on this. This is putting force on system, obviously. It says the entire system is putting out the force on this thing. Okay. Let
okay,
me
sir. So
unmute.
all that is external, sir.
Yeah, all the force is external. Yes. Chetan, Karthik, Sharath wants to speak. Okay, Sharath, if you want to speak.
No, sir, I
Oh,
forgot to lower
So
it.
just lower your hands, guys. Now, if once you're clear about what is a system, okay, once you're clear about what is a system, I will introduce you to something else. So let us take a simple system like a two spring block systems, okay? Previously, when you had a spring and a single block, we didn't have any issues here. The kinetic energy here used to get like, it is completely taken by the spring and used to give it back. It is you used to take all the energy and you used to give it back. So every time you lose some kinetic energy, we can simply put it on the spring, like saying the spring took it and gave it back. Since it was a single block system, now you have two block system. The change in kinetic energy of this block, cannot be simply explained by the spring only. There are more things now. So to discuss this, we introduce the idea of a system of particles. Like, we introduce the idea of, in fact, I'll just give you the word, potential energy. The thing called potential energy. Okay, let me just give you one example. It is very simple. Both the blocks have velocities like 5 meters per second and 5 meters per second. Everything is very simple. I'm considering this as a system. Now, when I consider this as a system, there was no external force on the system. There was nobody did anything to the system. But after some time, when I observed it, the blocks got so close and the velocities of both the blocks have become 0. So here there used to be some kinetic energy, and the kinetic energy is gone here. The kinetic energy is gone here. You're looking at the point, right? But from outside, there was no influence on the blocks. There was no influence on the blocks, but the block used to have some kinetic energy, but they're completely gone. We've always defined saying work done by external force is changing in kinetic energy. There is no external force here, but the kinetic energy is simply gone. So this is where we change the system, we change the rules by a little. Work done by external force plus work done by internal forces is also equal to change in kinetic energy. Here, the spring did some work on both the blocks and took all the energy. So this part, work done by internal force, is nothing but like introduced as potential energy. Like you simply write this work done by internal force as potential energy. To put it very simple, all the spring's kinetic energy is now converted into potential energy in the spring. Now it will give back because it's a conservative force. It will give back for sure. But for now, at that instant, all the kinetic energy is converted into potential energy inside the spring. It will come back later, but at that instant, it is just potential energy. Now, this is not a new topic. You can totally talk about it as work done by the spring itself. It is not, there is no problem in that. It is simply work done by the spring only. But to put it in a much simpler form, like to put it as if it is not blaming on me that I've taken it, Aniket simply says the energy is transferred to me. Now the energy from me is transferred back to Aniket. Nothing is gone here. It's not like, yeah, you can simply say that I took the money, I did some negative work, I did some positive work. So Aniket lost some money, gained some money. I can say that. Or simply the energy is transferred to me and the energy is transferred back from me to him. That's all. You can simply put it that way. Okay. It is that simple to talk about. So that is the idea of potential energy. Work done by external forces is always there. If it is not there, this is also like, this is the improved statement about work done and kinetic energies. All right, guys. This is just an introduction to potential energy today. We will talk about potential energies and a lot more tomorrow. And we sure will, yeah, from tomorrow onwards, you will get to see a lot more simulators. Okay. First 3 days are a bit dry compared to other topics. But from tomorrow onwards, you will get to see a lot of simulators. We'll talk about a lot of other things. Okay. Anything before I end the class? Just about this today's class. Don't bring anything else. Anything before I end the class? Aniket, of course, the man. Yeah, what is it?
So gravity is in general conservative or non-conservative?
Gravity is conservative force. We've seen that,
Okay,
right?
sir.
Gravity did some negative work and did some positive work after, so it is a conservative force. I've given you example also.
So if we just drop a ball from up, it's just doing positive work, right, sir?
Yeah, right. Yes.
So there it is a non-conservative force.
No. You again misunderstood the idea. On a closed path, it's as if on a loop, like you dropped a body, right? But you have to take it back to its original position, then talk about work net. Okay.
Oh, okay,
you only see the difference between a conservative force and a non-conservative force in the entire path. Like you start some point, you go and come back to that point. Now check whether the work done is 0 or not. Okay. In gravity,
Okay,
they will be positive and there will be negative. So net is 0. In a non-conservative force, in the case of friction, it will be negative and it will be negative again in the closed path. So you will get to see simply as a non-conservative. Aniket, is it clear now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So like you have to go on a closed path. You start from a point, you come back to the same point, then talk about the entire work done. Okay.
Sir, so if gravity is acting without lifting the ball up, then it will be a non-conservative force.
Gravity.
Like suppose something comes from space and it is attracted.
no, don't bring any other idea. First of all, you call it a non-conservative force when you go on a closed loop and you get non-zero work done, negative and negative. You getting my point? In any
Yes,
other case, don't bring in non-conservative forces. Okay, what did you just say? I didn't get you. Like, what did you, what were you
I
trying?
said suppose some mass just comes from somewhere and then gravity acts on it and brings
What
it
do you
down.
mean somewhere? Where does the mass come from?
Sir, suppose some asteroid or something comes. In that case, gravity is
Didn't come,
non-conservative, right? Because
it
we
didn't
are not
appear
even.
out of nowhere. It was somewhere else. Now it is here. So there was some
Yes, sir.
so they will be. So the asteroid came from some point to here. Did it go back to its original position?
No.
Then don't talk about it. When it has went back to its original position, then try to find the total work done. Then you will definitely get it as a zero. There will be some positive work coming in, and when it is leaving, there will be some negative work. So the net will be zero. You getting my point? Don't talk
Yes, sir.
about only one side motion. Talk about two-way. Then talk about whether it is a conservative or a non-conservative force. It always
Okay,
has
sir.
to be a closed loop. Start from some point. You have to get back to that point. Okay, Aniket? Cool, guys. Then I hope I introduced enough ideas for today. So let's talk about the rest of ideas tomorrow. From, like I mentioned, from tomorrow onwards, you'll get to see a lot of simulators, and there'll be a lot of fun, right? Thanks so much, and bye bye.